The question says find the equation of a straight line which passes through the point 3, 2 and is perpendicular to the line 3x plus 5 equals to 10. Hence, determine the gradient and y-intercept of the equation. So let me attempt to answer this question. Going back to the question again, the question is interested in finding the equation of a straight line, but that straight line passes through this point 3, 2, and that straight line that we need to find its equation is perpendicular to this line. This line 3x plus 5 equals to 10. So the line that we are to write its equation is perpendicular to this. Then after we have the equation of the line, we are going to use that equation to determine the gradient of the line and the y-intercept of it. So let me do that. So I'll copy the given equation, that is 3x plus 5 equals to 10. It is this equation or this line. The line that I am to find its equation is perpendicular to this very one. So what I will attempt to do is to get the slope of this very one. Then I'm going to use this slope to know the slope of the equation that I am to find. So let me attempt to get the equation of this line. So the equation of this line, we have to rearrange this equation so that y is now expressed in terms of others. So taking 3x to the right hand side becomes minus, and divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 5. So there you have y equals to 2 minus 3 over 5x. This 10 divided by 5 is what gives you this 2. Then 3x move to the right hand side, which becomes minus 3x. So divided by 5 you have minus 3 over 5x. So if you have this, you can now just check the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x will now be the slope of that very line. So slope of this very equation is now minus 3 over 5. But we are interested in getting the slope of the equation that we are to write, or the equation of the straight line that we are to determine. And as the two are perpendicular, the two slope multiplied together gives -1. So what we simply do, the slope of the new equation that we are to find will now be equals to -1 times the negative reciprocal of this. So reciprocal of this 3 over 5 will now be simply 5 over 3. So I'm going to multiply -1 multiplied by the reciprocal of that. So reciprocal of 3 over 5 will be 5 over 3. So multiply it by -1. So what I'll simply do, I'll simplify this. That will give me the slope of that very equation that I'm asked to write in the question. So multiplying this accurately give answer 5 over 3. Minus times minus is plus. So 1 times 5 over 3 is 5 over 3. So the new equation that I'm to find, it is equation, or the new line or straight line that I'm to write it is equation. This is its slope. So I continue. I'll now use the formula in which if you have a point on the line and the slope of the line, you can now write the equation of that straight line. And that formula is this one, y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So that point 3, 2 will now be the x1, y1 in this case. So this is the formula. If you have a point and a slope, you make use of this formula to determine this equation of the line. So y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So I'm now going to substitute. The m is 5 over 3, the x1 is 3, and the y1 is 2. So substituting, I'm going to have y minus 2 equals to 5 over 3 into x minus 3. So y1 is 2, x1 here is 3. So I continue. So clearing the fraction, multiply both sides by 2, so by 3. That gives 3 into y minus 2 equals to 5 into x minus 3. Expanding the two brackets gives answer 3y minus 6 equals to 5x minus 15. Now collect like terms. I have 3y, so minus 6 move to the right hand side. So there I have 5x minus 15 plus 6, in which reduced to minus 9. So there I finish answering this question. This is the equation of this line that I'm asked to write, or the equation of this straight line that I'm asked to write, and that equation or that straight line passes through this and is perpendicular to this. Now this is the equation, but the question says hence I am to determine the gradient of that very line and the y-intercept of it. So I can stop here, but because of this question I have to move further. So I have to write this equation or rewrite it so that it is just y equals to all other things by the right hand side, so that I can get the slope and the y-intercept. So I'll divide both sides by 3, the coefficient of y. So I'm going to have y equals to 5 over 3x minus 9. This minus 3, I beg your pardon, y equals to 5 over 3x minus 3. Minus 3 is dividing 9 by 3. So I can now use this to find the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is always the coefficient of x. But after you have y equals to. That is the simple reason why I proceeded from here. Otherwise I'll stop here if it is just the equation I'm asked to find. But because I have some other questions, so I have to get y equals to. I have to rewrite this very equation so that I'll have y equals to. When you have that, then the coefficient of x will be the slope and the constant number will be the y-intercept. So from here, the slope is coefficient of x, like I have said, 5 over 3, and the y-intercept will be nothing but the constant number, which is minus 3. So to that I finish answering this very question. What I'll just give you is the mark distribution according to the NECO marking scheme. So the very first mark is method 1 mark, and that method 1 mark is an attempt to get the slope of the new equation, or the equation of the line that you are asked to find. So an attempt to get that, you have that method 1 mark. And when you get the slope, you have 5 over 3, you have this accuracy 1 mark. The next is for substituting the slope and that very point given that the line passes through. Substituting in this formula, you have the method 1 mark. Next mark is for expanding the bracket in attempt to simplify and get the equation. You have this method 1 mark. And the next mark is accuracy mark, when you have the equation of the line as 3y equals to 5x minus 9. So I would have stopped here, but because I'm asked to find the gradient and y-intercept, that's why I have to get this, or I have to rewrite this equation so that I'll just have y equals to. So you have A1 for having that very equation. So you have y equals to 5 over 3x. So next mark is bonus 1 mark for the slope, and the next mark is another bonus 1 mark for the y-intercept as minus 3. So the total questions awarded to this is 7 good marks.